I'm really struggling with this take. This is like take 6. The phone keeps ringing. The compressor went off. You're not having the compressor. Not yet, at least. Okay, so I'm pretty sure the thumbnail's given this away, hasn't it? You've been waiting for this one. Those of you that don't know, I'll put a link to the videos up in this top corner. A couple of months ago, Benji and I went on a little bit of a road trip to look at 4 beautiful motorbikes. This one, ZXR750R, a GSXR 750 SP, an OW01, that's a mouthful, and an RC30, all to be recommissioned. So they've all been together in a collection for a very long time, and I was actually under the impression that they'd all been unused and unstarted. That sounds like really bad English. Not started for a good, 10, 15 years. Can't speak to the other 3 at this point, but from the research I've done about this one, this was actually MOT'd in 2020. And it did, I'll put it on the screen, I think it did 40 something miles. And it would appear that when it was MOT'd, it had new boots on it, because it's got S22s on it, which are modern tyres, not from this era of motorbike. What else can I tell you? It's absolutely beautiful condition. It doesn't look like it's ever seen any rain, although the brakes are starting to seize. It's very hard to push around. Initially I thought, it's got flat tyres, but yeah, the brakes are starting to seize. Not expecting any horrors, but from a safety, reliability point of view, because I have previously mentioned it, but these bikes are going to be ridden by some fairly fast and capable riders at some point in the future. I know I've been a little bit cryptic about that, but nothing's nailed down yet, so I'm not really going to talk about that. What am I saying? I need to build in some reliability. The brakes have clearly got to be right. It might be that they end up, when they do get ridden in anger, they end up with some brand new sticky rubber on them. But for my wobbling around on it road test purposes, these tyres are going to be absolutely fine. I've managed to find some genuine Kawasaki brake caliper seals. It probably won't need them, but it kind of does, because it's 20 something years old and I want it to be as safe as possible. So I'm going to go through the calipers. They're not going to be furry and horrible. I don't think this bike's ever got wet. Go through the calipers, put some new seals in. I've also got the pads look fine, but from a safety standpoint, I'm going to put some Brembo pads in it. It might be that when it gets put back into storage, I'll put the original Kawasaki pads back in it just to keep the originality, but to make it as safe as possible. I'm going to go through the calipers, seals and pads. I've got a load of bits and pieces. That's not going to focus, is it? Because I've got the focus locked out. In an attempt to build in some reliability, those of you that know, but the biggest failure point for these old carbureted Japanese bikes are the carburetors. All the little rubber components, the O-rings and stuff, they go rock hard like Bakelite, and they can be fine one day, and then the next day they're just pissing fuel out all over the floor and won't run properly. So in an effort to try and build in some reliability, all the little O-rings and bits and pieces inside the carburetors want to be replaced. So the fuel distribution pipe, there's little O-rings, the float needle valve seats on these are removable, the little O-rings that go on the seats. You get the idea. Let's just try and make it as reliable as possible. Do all the obvious things, all the fluids. I've got remember these old furry Kawasaki air filters? Well, if you know, these like to fall apart with age, even if they're in good condition and haven't been used. The foam gets to a point where it just falls to bits. So, excuse me, I've got a genuine Kawasaki air filter for it. Obviously, genuine Kawasaki oil filter. We'll do the oil and filter. We'll change the coolant, obviously brake fluid, set plugs in it. I've got a new battery for it. I think this is going to be a straightforward one. Let's start. Let's just get its clothes off. Let's get the fairing off, the tank, the seat unit, and then we can eyeball it properly and see what we're up against. Get the carbs off, get those on the bench, get those stripped. I'll clean them anyway, even if they're clean. Inside of the fuel tank looks nice and clean. Not expecting any massive horrors, but fingers crossed, you never know. Right, onwards. Okay, somebody remind me. How do I do that then? Like that. Yeah. Okay, and then got that. Genius. And then very, very gingerly. Ow, that's my finger. Oh, I see. Got it hooked on there. Okay. Whoa. I didn't realise, in my ignorance, we're getting that in shot. It's fiberglass, that. Very special. Looks a bit overspray in there, doesn't it? I do remember one of the guys saying that this had had paint, because I don't think that's genuine Kawasaki like that, is he? They'd stick the foam on afterwards. I think this has been painted very nicely, but don't think that's original. JIS screwdriver. Ta-da! Yeah, that's looking a little bit slightly green overspray as well. I wonder how much of this has been painted. Anyway, that's not my concern. Fucking that's all original looking. Awesome. I was led to believe that it didn't have a battery on it, but it has. And it says new. It's clearly not new, because it's dead as a doornail. I have got a new USA battery for it though. Okay, first really interesting thing. You aficionados out there, tell me, did they have dry brakes on them originally? Kind of looks original with these sort of clips. I don't remember that being a thing. Maybe it was. Very cool. Although that clip's not original. You getting that? No. That's not an original clip. I don't know. But it's handy, whatever. Now we get to see the real fun stuff. It's got flat slide carbs on it. And, oh, hang on a minute. There's a wire somewhere. Let me go around the other side because I'm in your way. Oh, it's a breather pipe. God, that tank is so light. There's no fuel in there. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Holy smoke. Come round here and look at this. Tell me that that isn't fucking sexy. Oh, hang on. What's going on with this throttle cable? I'm not sure that's supposed to be like that. Okay. I found a problem. Don't need two cables. Return cables are for girls. Fuck, that's cool. Right, let's get those off to start with. Get them on the bench. and see what's going on inside them. Fucking hell. That brings back memories. Awesome. Okay, so got the clips loose. The fucking, oh, shaking the camera there. The inlet manifold rubbers are like fucking concrete. And I already know because I looked, they're fucking unobtainium. This is how jobs like this go fucking horribly wrong. Oh, and I just looked as well. The throttle cable is discontinued. And that one's been repaired. Look, the puller's been repaired. I might end up having to do the same thing and putting an inner in it, because they're no longer available. But first issue is getting these carburetors off without fucking breaking something. Oh God. Let's give them a snifter of something. Give me a bit of lubrication. It's always the rubbery bits that give you problems with this sort of a job. It doesn't matter if it's used or not, it just doesn't like time. Determined to knock that camera over. There we go. Now then, see if I've got plugs that'll fit in there. Are you going to be the right size? Yeah, sort of. Okay. Idle mixture screw. Idle mixture screw? What are you talking about? Idle stop screw. Here we go. Yeah, distinct smell of avgas. I can only assume the inside of these are going to be clean then. Right, okay. Allen keyage. Let's put them that way around. Let's have a look. Actually, that's a bad one to take off because of the... How hard are those pipes? Oh, well, we'll take them all off at the same time. Okay. Tappy, tappy. Let's have a look in here then. Well, I wouldn't say spotless, but it has got a bit of a stale fuel smell to it. Slightly slimy, but seeing that, pretty bloody good really, isn't it? When you think it's stood around for, I think it's got 4 years of sitting since it was last ran. I think... Yeah, I think that's avgas. Okay. Well, there's no horrors. Apart from maybe the accelerator pumps. Let's have a look. Let's get rid of those. Let's have a look at those accelerator pump diaphragms. Let's have a look. Oh, lovely and clean still. What can happen though, you know this I'm sure, but stuff like these diaphragms can just go, pop that up really carefully, can just get really crusty. It looks alright, it's pretty rubbery looking, although pretty sure I'll be able to get parts for these. without too much of a drama. Right, I'll finish stripping these completely. Let's get them soaking in some carb juice. They're going to come completely apart, as in I'm going to separate the bodies, because this fuel distribution pipe along the back here is a massive point of failure in terms of it leaking. So I'll split them. I don't know whether I'll share it or not. We'll see how we go for time. Replace the O-rings in here and here, here and here, here and here. There's an O-ring underneath the float needle valve seat, that sort of thing. Just go through them, give them a good clean. Some new O-rings and bits and pieces. That's that. Let's drain the water. Let's drain the coolant and the oil. Let's get the calipers off. Get the calipers stripped. Yeah. I feel like we're making a slight progress. Got to figure out a solution for the throttle cable. Inlet manifold rubbers are just not going to happen. I'm just going to have to... Right, onwards. These carbs are in remarkably good condition. It's astonishing, really. They definitely haven't been left with unleaded in them for 5 years, 4 years. Right, where are those mixture screws set? Half, 1, half, 3/4, half, 1, half, 3/4. Now then, we got a little washer and O-ring down in there. Yes, we have. There's a washer. And there is the O-ring. There it is. Right, okay. So today is tomorrow. It is the next day. I soaked these carbs overnight. Well, say soaked. They're not really that dirty. Filled all the orifices up with Jim's special sauce. Bit of varnish coming out of those. See how that's gone green? But hardly any. Interestingly, and I don't understand the chemistry, I'll have to ask the chemist, but those float bowls had some varnish in them. But the carb cleaners turned brown, not green. So that wasn't unleaded fuel in there. That was something else. I think maybe my suspicion of avgas is correct. Interesting. So that's that. I'm going to give those more of a snifter of carb cleaner and leave those while I'm doing other bits and pieces. Let me take you to the bike. So, got the oil drained out, got the coolant drained out. I think now, next, let's just take the plugs out. I might as well stick a bore scope in there and have a look, hadn't I, while I'm here. Why wouldn't you? Let's have a good eyeball down in there too, perhaps, with a bore scope. See what we can see. I'm finding bits. I can get... I'm not sure, so on CMS NL, right, these rubbers, there's 2 part numbers, and like on the Kawasaki parts fiche, I'm assuming it's 2 for right hand side and 2 for left, but they all look identical to me, because I can get, yeah, the part number's the same. Interesting. So I can get 2 of them. Well, there's 2 part numbers on the fiche. I'll flash it on the screen. I can get one of the part numbers, but not the other from CMS NL. I think I might just order the 4 I can get and see, because they look identical. And then the other thing is I found the throttle cable. I was thinking, oh, I'm going to have to come up with a solution, you know, get a bit of Bowden cable and fix it, solder some nipples on. But I found online that Cradley Kawasaki of these cables are discontinued. They're fucking unobtainium. But Cradley Kawasaki have the one cable I need in stock, the return. So I've ordered that this morning. come up with a solution for these. But before we do that, let's get the plugs out and let's get the bore scope in there and have a look. And then the other sort of issue, I've got the airbox in bits. I wanted to, the air filter just slides out of the side of the airbox, but I wanted to take the airbox apart and see how minging it was inside. So I'll give that a wash out. It's pretty clean in there. We'll clean that out. We'll put the new air filter in it. The air filter that came out is actually all right. It's a bit sort of out of shape and a bit wonky, but it's not falling apart like they often do. But I've got the new one. I'll treat it to a new one because it's all a bit, yeah, like I said, out of shape. Yeah, the other potential pain in the arse, look at that. So the airbox rubber, somebody's fucking jammed the carburettor on at some point in its life, and that's all squashed out of shape. And that one. These I cannot fucking find anywhere. They are literally non-existent. In fact, that's not true. I found one of them on Partzilla, which is American, isn't it? I'm not sure. That'll go back on, but it's just not fucking ideal. Anyway, that's that. Right, let's get the plugs out of it. Sorry, I'm teasing you with what's in the background, aren't I? I just got it out of storage because I was ordering some bits from CMS NL, and I wanted to make a bit of a plan for that one at the same time. Okay, let's get an airline, do a bit of blowy. Standby, compressor inbound. Disconnect the leaky airline so it doesn't go off. Sorry to disappoint you. Now then, where's my plug spanner? That isn't a spanner. Socket. My suspicion is it's probably got new plugs in it. I think when it was MOT'd 4 or 5 years ago, it probably had a bit of love then. Okay. Well, they're a long way off being new. No horrors. Focus on there. Come on now, focus, you fuck. Right, boring scope. Okay. That one's a top dead centre. Not going to see anything, am I? Top dead centre, so this one won't be. And if it is, we're in fucking trouble. Look in there, look. Oh, come on, Jim, don't get the lens dirty. Down the hole, man. Here we go. Now I've had an upgrade, guys, on my bore scope. It's now articulating, so I can have a look around. I can have a look at the crosshatch on that. Look at the crosshatch on that. Can we look back at the valve? No. All the pistons are halfway up the bore. But that looks nice, doesn't it? I'm not a gynecologist, but I'll have a fucking good look at it for you. Fucking amateur hour. Get it in the hole. Oh, valves are open. Let's go down the inlet. Have a looky-loo in here. It's pretty much exactly what you'd expect to see, isn't it? How many miles has it done? Yeah, it's done 9,000 miles, so it hasn't exactly been to the moon, but it has been used. Okay, I think that's enough of that. Okay, I think I'll call time on part 1. I've got to wait for some parts, so we've got to wait on these inlet manifold rubbers to come. Hopefully they're going to work out okay. I think I'm just being really thick and not understanding the whole part number thing. Don't know. Tell me in the comments. I'm not a parts guy. I've looked at enough microfiches over the years, so I should know, but I don't know for some reason. Brain fart, maybe. Who knows? Yeah, so I'm waiting on the manifolds. I'm waiting on this cable. While I'm waiting for those parts, the cable's coming from Cradley Kawasaki. That'll be here within a few days, I would think. The CMSNL parts, last time I ordered from them, it took them a week, 10 days before they even shipped them, and then it was another week to get the bits. So I don't know, we're just going to have to sit on our hands and wait for those. Fill it back up with oil, fresh filter on it, fill it back up with coolant, put a set of plugs in it. Got the calipers to go through, so strip and rebuild the calipers with new seals. I'm not even sure I'm going to share that. I've done that many different caliper rebuild videos over the years. I don't think there's any value for anybody there. New seals, new pads, fresh brake fluid. And let's wait for these inlet manifold rubbers to come. The exciting bit is going to be getting the carbs back on and getting it to make noise. Carbs got to go back together, obviously. Will I film that? Don't know. You might see some of that in part 2. Anyway, I appreciate all of you. Thanks for watching. If you can like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And we've managed to not have the compressor in this episode, which is a result, or not, depending on which way you look at it. Thanks, guys. See you later.